G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content of my channel. If you missed part 10 of my Webster engine build, there's a link up there now, go watch that first. Then come back and watch this one. Now before I get started on this video, I just want to apologise for the length of that last one. I don't normally make videos that long. And as I mentioned in some text in it, I could have just edited out all those dramas I had and just made myself look good, but I'm really hoping that by leaving all that stuff in there, all those dramas, that at some stage it may help somebody that's trying to build one of these engines, or has built one and is struggling to get the thing to start. So I really do hope that helps someone out at some stage. Now this video, after 10 weeks of building that engine, I could really do with a change. Something won't take as long. So you know, in that build I used this U drill in this holder. Now I really struggle with length in my lathe, and this thing is just way too long. So what I want to do, and I did suggest in one of those videos that I might try and make up a more taper 2 holder for this. So let's set it over the bench and have a look how I'm going to go about it, because I don't have a single piece of material to make it out, and I don't think I want to turn down that much, you know, steel to make one. So let's go over to the bench over there and have a look how I'm going to go about this one. Alrighty, just before I get started talking about this stuff, I forgot to mention there that opening bit. If you watched episode or part 10 of the Webster engine, and you saw that it doesn't run all that fantastically well, if you've got any suggestions how I might make that run better, and I suspect part of the problem is I may have the timing just a little bit wrong, because I only eyeballed the 5 degrees before top to the centre, so that could be part of the problem. But what I do suspect is that it sucks all the vapour out of the tank, and then it just stops because there's nothing left. And you wait a few moments, it'll start again, run for a little while, and then stop. Anyway, enough of that. Now, on with this stuff. Righto. Now this thing's way too long, and I think the shank on this is a bit too bloody long as well. So even if I want to use it in the mill and in the collet chuck, I don't really want it sticking out that far. I can't fit it directly into the mill, so I've got to use the collet chuck or use whatever I make up here. So I think I'll chop that off a bit so that it's just, you know, about the end of that collet rather, so it's not too long, because the shorter I make this, the shorter I can make this thing. Now I've got this bit here. I don't think that's hard, I'm not sure what it was. It's long enough to make the 2 Morse taper bit, and have a little bit to fit up inside a piece of this, and that's what I'll use. I'll bore that out to so I can get some clamp screws into it to clamp it in there. So, you know, I can't. That's why I want to chop this off. I don't want to make that too long. Actually, I guess it might have been better off just buying another collet chuck. Now, stuff it. I will make this holder up, because I've got nothing much else to do just at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll cut a piece off this, or I might even leave it like that for the time being. Just machine the outside of it a bit, cut it off, and before I do that, bore a hole in here that I can machine this down a little bit, and press it in there, and then either weld it or maybe bolt it from the other side and Loctite it or something. I don't know. I'll think about that. But anyway, that's what I got in mind. Alrighty, so as you can see, I've had a bit of a clean up here before I started on this project, including cleaning this poor old lathe down. Poor little, it's not that old. It's getting pretty grubby. Right, so to get the ball rolling, we'll face this off and then centre it and put tailstock in it, so you know, it's sticking out a long way. So let's get on with this. Can't believe how much I've had to take off it and still not there. I'm a little bit below centre here. So I think I'll get rid of this aluminium tip I've got in here. Not really much better result with it, but still haven't cleaned it up. Oh, finally got it all. Alrighty, so I don't really care what the OD of this thing is, as long as it's big enough to get some grub screws in it to hold that thing. What is it? I suspect this is about 50mm, I didn't measure it before. It might have been 45mm, it's 44.5 now, that'll do. I think that's 20 on there, 1996. Plenty of room for some good solid grub screws. So what I'm going to do now is drill a hole in there and bore it out to something a bit smaller than this. So I've got a shoulder. What's that? 20, this is 24.78, so I might go down to, we'll get into 20 with this as well. Yeah, I will do that. Okay, I might actually go all the way up in here with a 16mm drill and then only bore that out in there, maybe 10mm, so I can fit that shaft into the back end of it. Bloody compressor started. Alright, so then we'll get it out of there and go and cut it off in the saw, and then get the other piece in there, turn it down to fit it into the back of this, and then weld that into there, and then we'll set the whole welded up piece in here. I think I might get the steady rest out and run it on here to bore all the inside out, the other end out for that U drill. But anyway, before I do that, I'll get a chamfer on here and then we'll get a drill up in there. Get that in there. No, I won't. I'll sneak the 14 in there. Oh, nope. Oh, look out this. Oh, yeah. This is a 19mm drill. I'm going to cut it all. Jesus, what's going on there? Piece of shit. Ooh. I don't know why that doesn't want to cut. It's nice and sharp. Can't get that in there either. I guess you're starting to see what I meant by I have trouble with length in this lathe. It's a real bloody problem. Alrighty, I'll come just getting out. I'll come back to you. Bugger it, I ran it into the bottom. Did it once, it was power fearing too, and now I'm going to have to straighten all that back up again. I'll come back to you. Alrighty, so I've got that back to within a couple of hundred to where it was. It's already overshot, it's still already 20.33. Underestimated where I was. You know, so I'll just do a clean up pass, and it doesn't really matter what size that hole is, because I've got to turn the end of that bar down to fit into it. So I'll just dress that hole up again, make sure it's true to the way it's running now, and then just face the bottom off without crashing into it again. Yeah, that feels right. Now I'll just clean the bottom up. It's a bit ratty looking up in there. Still a few shitty marks in there, but you can't see that when it's all put together, so call it quits at that. So I take the long-winded path of boring it out with this because I just couldn't get a big enough drill in there. Put the biggest drill I could get in there, which I think was 9mm. I had to bore out another 11mm. So I just thought I'd save you that drama. Took a while. A bit of a chamfer on this. Oh, actually, I might just clean it outside up. It's a bit rough looking. Alrighty, so I think the bearings in my steady rest will enjoy that a little better. But I'll get that out of there and go and cut it off in the saw. Alrighty, so chop that off, and while I can still get at it easily with a 16mm drill, I put it back in the chuck and I faced off the wonky cut and drilled it all the way through 16mm. So now I've got to turn that down to 20.6 to fit in there. Well, it'd be a nice press fit in there anyway. How deep did it end up? I wanted to go 10mm, what did I end up? 10.1, so if I go 10 it won't hit the bottom. Even though that distance has got a slight taper on it, so as long as I can get that started in there, it'll go in. That's good, I think. Rightio. I think I'll put a bit of a chamfer here for welding. Alright, I'll get that out of there, I'm going to knock it in and weld it up. Alrighty, so that was a good tight knock-in fit in there, so I'll put this G-clamp on here just to keep it together while I tack it, and I'll get rid of that, finish welding it up. Alrighty, bloody battery turned and went flat and turned the camera off. Batteries don't seem to last any time at all in this camera now. Alright, I've got all the way around that. I'm going to call it quits for today and just leave that there to cool down overnight. We'll get into it tomorrow. Got a nice weld all the way around there, so I should be able to clean it up, make it look respectable. Tomorrow. Alrighty, so I need to clean this weld up, and I've been at it for a little bit because it was quite the interrupted cut, and because this thing's not all that heavy, it doesn't really like this corner radius tool all that much. But I've got rid of the worst of it, you know, because it was so interrupted, it was sort of tough going for a while there. But anyway, we'll finish this off. From where I'm standing, you guys probably got a better view of that than I have. Anyway, slowly getting there. There's still a couple of little blemishes in that, and God, that's hot. But I think I'll leave it at that, and I'm going to let it cool down because that is like bloody blue hot. I'll let it cool down a bit and I'll just dress the outside of this, re-chamfer that. Then I want to turn it around, do something with this. Alrighty, slight change of plans. Decided to get the steady rest out and fit it up. I made this up myself, and if you'd like to have a look how I made it, I'll put a link up top now if you haven't seen that already. I want to get this board out to 20mm. It's getting really hot again. That's a slight problem. I was trying to touch it on the front and it was like, it wasn't in gear, but it was like it was driving itself up into the face all the time. I couldn't figure out what was going on. When I noticed it's actually pulled itself out of the bloody chuck. And anyway, it settled down now and stopped moving, so we'll get on with this. I've already taken a millimetre out of there. Once again, that's red hot. Quick sanity check, should be about 19mm, I think. And 1908. So another half a mil, get it out to just over 20, so I don't want to go that far. I might take just a 0.15 cut up there. I've been taking 0.25s. And then go away, let this cool down. It's just about lunchtime, I'll have some lunch. And after lunch we'll come out and measure it again, and actually I think it's 1.5 is 3mm, so we have to take 4, 19 plus, oh no, another 0.25, so let me take it at the 19.5. Just check it, make sure. Yeah. Outrageously hot. Alright, so that's 19.8. So we'll let that cool down while I go and make the worms happy, and I'll come back out and finish that off to fit that tool. Alrighty, so the worms are happy now, and this has cooled down, something barely warm. I've measured this, it is exactly 20 with the micrometer. This measures 19.85 with the inside mic, and if you saw the last time I used this, I said it didn't agree with the mic, but I figured out how to adjust it, and they both agree now because I measured that with the mic. So I've got 0.15 to come out of there. I've gone up about 0.16, so we'll make a total of 0.16. We'll make a pass up in there and see what we end up with. Alrighty, so I made a spring pass back out of there. Still about 100th undersized, but we'll see what happens. Oh, look at that, bloody perfect. You wee ripper. Alright, so I'll get a chamfer on there. And I'll get that out of there, and I'll polish it up first a bit. I'll take this off, polish that up, and then we'll flip it around and start attacking the other end. Alright, quick update. I decided while I had the steady rest still on there, I would set it up and drill and center the end of this so I could face it off. I had to cut about 10mm off the end of it, the length. I really should, before I've done any of that, set up for the Morse taper arbor, but with my cross slide being not the greatest thing in the world, I want to do all the roughing on here with a solid tool post, so I'm going to do all that. I'm not going to bother to video it because it's getting a bit long, this video. And once I've roughed it out, I'll get it back out of there, set up for the Morse taper 2 with the cross slide, and then I'll come back and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do that. Alrighty, so that's all roughed out, ready to be machining the taper on it tomorrow. Gonna have to take it very easy doing that because I'll have to get rid of the tailstock and everything and go in from this side because I generally can't get in this way with the compound. Kept calling it the cross slide before, compound slide. Had another crack at tidying this up and that looks a lot better. Now we can see what I was doing. Bit hard opens over the back. Anyway, that's it for today. That's not too hot, but I've had enough. Back's killing me. So I'll get in tomorrow and I'll cut that Morse taper on there and we'll be just about done. Alrighty, so I spent forever setting this up this morning. Had to take the tailstock off to be able to do this. It's a pain in the arse. There's that length problem again. Thought I'd save you some watch time, and I've knocked down the worst of this because I can only take, you know, because it's sticking out so far, really light cuts, so it's only been 0.1 or so at a time. But I'm nearly there, so we'll get on with it. Oh, I sped it up from what I've been doing there before. Didn't like it up in here. It was okay down there. It's getting better finish there, but bloody terrible up there. Right, it's about time I checked to see how it's going. This is the trial piece I made when I built the mill, and it's been cut with a reamer, so I know it's pretty true. Here's, I reckon we're just about there. I won't take too much more off. I might slow it back down again a bit. Well, this was turned to the maximum diameter, just because I'm copying this is what I'm doing, and it there was the same as the max diameter up here. So we must be pretty much there, I reckon, if I've got this angle right. And I spent, bloody, like I said, forever this morning setting it up. So that one goes right up to the shoulder there. So once I dress that up a bit, I'm going to use this piece of polished granite, a bit of sandpaper, and clean it up. I need to get out and find some more emery paper. I'm kind of out of it. That looks on there pretty well. Oh, it's just pretty rough up here. A lot of lines and stuff in that. I'll come back to it. I'm going to keep working on that. I've got to be careful and not take too much off it though. Come back to you. Alrighty, so that's about as good as I think I'm going to get it. A couple of little lines in it there, but I can't just keep scrubbing away at it. I'll make it too small in the end. Alrighty, so I'll get it out of there, get it in the mill, and drill and tap a couple of holes in there, and we can clamp a tool in with, and then we'll get the tailstock back on there and we'll try it out. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons. This continued support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up there and drop me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to be a regular contributor, there's always buy me a coffee. Now, let's get back to the build. Alrighty, so while you weren't looking, I chopped the end off that and drilled and tapped a couple of M8 holes in there. This fits up in here very nicely. Coming out far enough. Locks in there really well. And it ejects easily. I could have done with it less there, but anyway, it's better to be too deep there than not deep enough. Now this has already got 20mm hole there. That's no good. Turn it around the other way. It's still got a hole on the other side, because as I discovered the last time I used this, it works better if it has a pilot hole because it doesn't center cut. So let's get that up there and lock her up and see what we get. That's turning in there. This is probably not a good piece of material to be trying to do that because it's full of bloody inclusions in that. But anyway. Once I got past all the crappy bits up in there, it seemed to cut alright. Anyway. So that's about that for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me make that. You might have got something out of it, maybe not. But if you did enjoy it, make sure you smash that like button and give it a great big thumbs up, because you know it kind of helps me out. Well, that's it for this week. Got a little something in mind for next week. Something I probably should have done a long time ago. Decided to make up a depth gauge for the tailstock, because at the moment I have no idea. I've got to measure everything and mark it with a pen, and I've got the little mini DROs that I took off the mill, so I've got one little short one, so I'll use that to make one up for the tailstock. I'll see you next week. So that's it for now. Bye bye.